Hi everybody, this is Caroline Sotheby and welcome to Up, Down, and Around Town. Well, the week is on by already, but we didn't put on the screen last week the construction area on Oak, the old post office. And this is something that really interested me. How high can they go? And if you see the little makeshift elevator coming down, and I was thinking, those poor guys, because most of the time, you know, there's a lot of wind coming right through Wyandotte, and they're coming all the way down there, and hopefully they were going to make it. So let's take the final stages and see how far did they go. Can you imagine being up there? But I guess that's where you have to go in order to get that work done. And slow but sure, the top level is being done. See, they're still coming down. And finally, but you don't always see that lift up there, but they do have an awful lot of equipment and a lot of material that's being purchased all the time and brought in. If you didn't see the program last week, I made you aware that there's telephone scams again. And the one that came to me was somebody saying that Grandma Caroline, this is your oldest grandson. And out of my 21 grandchildren, I didn't recognize the voice, so I says, "What's your name?" And that's when the telephone clicked, went down. So be cautious of whatever phone calls might be coming in. Another thing that drew my attention is our COVID restrictions. And if you noticed last week, I had gone from, well, beginning of the year, we used to have this and this and this. Then we went to putting our names and telephone numbers on pads at bars, restaurants, and clubs. And then that was discontinued. And all of a sudden, Christmas came around, people are starting to get sick, and somebody's saying 5 days quarantine, 10 days, what was what. So went to the source that we got, and it's updated. If positive and vaccinated or not, you stay at home for 5 days. If you have no symptoms or your symptoms are resolving after 5 days, you can leave your house, but continue to wear a mask around others for 5 additional days. If exposed, but you are vaccinated, wear a mask around others for 10 days. Test on day 5 if possible, okay? But if exposed and you're not vaccinated, stay home for 5 days. Continue to wear a mask around others for 5 additional days. If you can't quarantine, you must wear a mask for 10 days. So test on day 5 if possible. Well, at that time, I got a notice from our HR person saying that they were trying to get in touch with the county and see if they can get extra boxes because people are trying to get tests and they aren't available. Well, I found out that there aren't very many being available, only a small portion, like 359. So it might be just going to a certain group that especially needs more care. Anyway, that's back information. Another thing that happened last week when we were on the program, we had a couple of meetings. We had 3 programs for the school board meeting. There were also 2 bands that came in. One was the one on the lobby floor, and I got them as they were practicing. So maybe we can go to that little clip. that was on the lobby floor, and they were greeting people as they were coming in to go up to the council chambers and the school board meeting. But on the school board floor, there was also another group getting ready, and caught them as they were getting a warm-up before their meeting. Let's go to that.
3, 4.
And you have to give credit. Those are Roseville High School students come out and participate in a drawing like that. Anyway, that was last week. So this week I sort of caught up with myself and went down to the library because oftentimes I ask them if they can come on and talk about what they're doing there. And they said they're pretty low on staff right now. So I went out and got the marquee. Of course, it was today's date. Those are the hours. You see from there, Monday to Thursday, Friday to Saturday, different hours there. And they have something new. This are free from now on. How about that? And they were excited. They kept on repeating to me about it. Inside, here's something for the kids. And there's Snowy Day Friends, Riddle 1. I have less than 4 buttons. I am not wearing a scarf. I have on green mittens, and Who Am I? And they can go there and fill them out. And it's something like this. Eventually, they land up taking it to the librarian and get a little gift. Another thing that really impressed me is this here. Remember how you were complaining about the kids not doing curse? Sure, I can't even say it. Cursive writing. It says, cursive writing is a style of writing where all the letters form a word. The inner connection gives a piece of writing a beautiful pattern that is pleasant to the eye. Cursive has been around for hundreds of years. Amen. The club is available to give participants an opportunity to learn how to write in the cursive style. We will provide weekly worksheets, and this time it was worksheet number 2, that will train participants to write correctly. Simply pick up a worksheet and practice your writing at home. Complete the worksheet, show your completed work to a member of the library staff, and receive a hole punch on your membership card, which is provided above, and this is the one. Once you have 12 punches, you will receive a unique writing utensil of your choice. Many goofy and fun options, and here is what it looks like. And you can get that at the library. And I found out that there are a lot of groups that are actually participating and making use of the library. Like the Downriver Poets and Playwrights, they were there on Tuesday, January 4th. Alternative Drop-In Chess is every Thursday at 5:30. The Downriver Numismatic Association, that's the coin group, is Thursday, Thursday, January 13th at 6 o'clock. And the Friends of Bacon Library is going to be Monday, January 24th at 7 o'clock. Another thing, too, we're sort of sideswiping 81 Chestnut Street, which is Downriver Council for the Arts. And I noticed there's an ad on the graphic page for martial arts. And they are now relocating to 81 Chestnut Street. And they have everybody from young kids all to the adults. Classes will be starting February 7th. So basically, this has been a sort of wrap-up of what is around town. Something came in, and it's very important. Maybe we're not having that much of a problem at the Wyandotte plant, but take a little attention to what we might have to refresh our memory and our way of thinking and doing. So can we go to that one?
Fatbergs. They don't just sound gross, they are gross. Every day in America, grease and other materials dumped into sewer collectors build up into huge fatbergs that block sewer lines. Although many different materials spill into sewers, the main culprit is grease from busy restaurants. It's meant to be captured by grease traps, but many don't use them and pour grease straight down the sink. During storms, heavy rain, or snowfall, fatbergs build up and create obstacles that prevent water and wastewater flowing smoothly, putting a strain on the whole system. With no escape route, the water can back up and rise out of the sewers, flooding city streets. In some cases, it can be so severe, water and wastewater gush out of toilets and sinks into people's homes, causing water damage. And it's not just fatbergs that are a problem. Sewer operators find all sorts of items that have been tossed into sewer lines, including flushable wipes that many people assume are safe to flush down the toilet, but actually are not. Clearing them is a time-consuming challenge, which can be frustrating for everyone who relies on the sewer system to disperse their water and wastewater. So let's keep grease and other foreign objects out of our sewer lines. Say no to fatbergs. Veolia, resourcing the world.
So this is ideally all the stuff that you don't want to screen in the first place. You would rather want people not flush it.
These wipes are really, so many of them on their packaging, it says flushable. Well, I'll tell you what, they might be flushable, but they are not biodegradable, and they are wreaking havoc on all the sanitary sewer systems throughout the entire country, quite frankly.
This was a pump. We got a phone call from a homeowner, and the alarm had gone off that they were having a sanitary backup in their home. The alarm was going off, and when we got on site, what we found was the grinder pump itself, and as you can see, it's kind of dirty. It's in the back end of one of the trucks here that we have, and this is what was in the pump. These are flushable rags that people use. They're wipes, sanitary wipes. I don't know what to call other than they're just wipes. This is what we took out. 13 bags of wipes and grease. This is what the station looked like when we arrived.
This is from one station?
This is one station serving one residential home.
Wow.
We have pulled not only flushables or the wipables that we're seeing there, we've also pulled out IV bags, bed sheets. Near a convalescent home, we had one pump station. We pulled an entire bed sheet out of a pump station.
Oh, this is a significant problem around the country and really around the world. Our sewers are the lifeline of what keeps us having a system that we can use long term. And whenever we're adding something to it that shouldn't be there, we're going to have complications from it. We just had a case in Farmington the other day, a few weeks ago. 16 apartments were affected by a backup because it had a fairly small line had built up with grease to the point where it couldn't flow anymore. I think we ended up with 16 apartments that had been flooded by that.
What happens is they almost become a rope, and they are wrapping themselves around our pumps. They're choking our pumps. We've put grates in, screens in, and we have to clean the screens out, particularly after a heavy rain, all the time.
Basically, toilet paper, the moment it enters that system and it's flushing down your toilet, it starts breaking down. Basically, wipes will not break down. They just won't break down. And they end up, one will attach itself, you get a little grease on it, another one will attach itself, more grease, and you end up with this pile of rags and grease that will block any line. And if you don't do something about that, over time, you're going to have more and more lines backing up and flooding people's homes.
Materials like flushable wipes can make it through those screens and add to the ragging issue within the wastewater treatment facility, water resource recovery facility, excuse me. So that can get into grinder pumps, into check valves. We looked at some of the different situations where it can block and impede the treatment process, and it's a manual, typically a lot of manual labor has to be exerted to clean out that equipment and get it back into service.
This is all ends up costing the system. So everybody who pays a rate is paying part of that rate into fixing these kind of problems. And if you're not affected directly by a backup and it's in your home, you're still paying for it every month when you pay your bill, because all these things add up over time.
But wastewater treatment plants and collection systems spend a lot of preventative maintenance and man hours removing materials that were never really designed to be in the sewer to begin with. And I think flushable wipes is just one of those items.
This is something that happens way more than it should, and it's really all about public education. If we can show the public the impact that this is having, they'll stop doing it, because most people have no idea that it's happening. What you want to flush in your toilet is just toilet paper and whatever you're producing as a person.
When you're going to the grocery store, no matter what you're buying, if you're buying those types of materials, just try to, I guess, at first reduce the amount of that material you're using in your home.
All right, that gives us an idea how we can help our own city. And talking about our own city, this week on Inside Wyandotte, our Joel actually interviews the paramedics that deal with a lot of emergency cases, and also Dr. Evans. So you might want to hit that one and get an idea what else is happening in the city of Wyandotte. So till next time, we'll see you then on Up, Down, and Around Town. Take care now. Bye-bye.